Hello and welcome back to my smelling of Nebiru Parfums series. This is going to be the penultimate episode. We will be smelling the last two of the 6 samples that I was given. Today we will be looking at Marlina XQ and Seraphim XQ. I was kind of warned about this one, so I'm very curious why that is the case. So apparently these are going to be much more on the challenging side. In the next episode, I will probably be ranking all of the samples that I've tried. And there's also a new scent by Nebiru Parfums called Antique, which is going to be a vintage style chypre fragrance that I will be receiving a sample of very soon. So I might smell that in that video as well. So let's get started right away with Marlina. I'm very curious. I'm going to smell, as always, I will be spraying this one just on skin because, in fact, these are going to be very rare fragrances. I don't think many examples of these two fragrances were ever made, many bottles. So you can see there's the juice on my left hand. And yeah, I don't want to waste it on a strip. And there's lots of naturals in these scents, so I prefer to smell them on my skin. The alcohol is dried off, so let's give this one a sniff. Okay. It's interesting. This definitely has some of the cheesiness that I associate with natural ouds, especially slightly fermented ouds. And I wore The Night by Frederick Malle again yesterday. So I'm still tuned to that sort of stinky, cheesy, barnyardy oud thing. But this is actually just a lighter, less dense oud, it seems like. This has some of the cheesiness, but also some freshness. So yeah, there's something light and fresh and uplifting in this, and there's something slightly sweet as well. Again, I'm picking up on something very lightly citrusy in the top, maybe just a tiny hint. I think he likes just using at least a little bit of citruses in most of his scents. Even if they're gonna be gone very quickly and go into a heavy dry down, he just likes to put a little bit in there. And there's this very mineralic feel about this one as well. But it has, I'm mostly getting some sweet stuff, just lightly sweet stuff, with dark woods, with cheesiness, and yeah, something fresh, something citrusy fresh, maybe something mineralic. And yeah, this is actually, so far I really enjoy this. The oudiness is not over the top. This has something, so I don't get this a lot with this brand. So this brand, so far the type of style that I'm getting is very, rough, no, not rough, but like rugged. Rough is the wrong word. It's more rugged and medicinal, and he likes having a lot of texture in his scents. So all of his scents, they're very textured. But this one has a gentleness about it, something soft, something light and airy almost, but with a good dose of these cheesy animalics. But whatever that freshness and light sweetness is that is in there is really, really pleasant. Yeah, it almost smells a little bit musky, but I don't think he uses a lot of synthetic musks because I haven't detected that before in all of his scents. If he were to use more synthetic musks, I would get more smoothness, more fluffiness, more softness in these other scents. But this one has a bit of that, but it doesn't smell synthetic. Yeah, it's eerily fresh with a hint of sweetness. Like I keep saying that. Let's have a look in the official notes, and maybe that'll clear up what I'm getting. Okay, so this uses black ambergris and white ambergris, and I'm assuming that he uses natural ambergris here. And then Australian sandalwood, Ceylon cinnamon, Mysore sandalwood. Okay, yeah, that helps with the softness, and also has like a slight bit of something sweet as well. Night blooming jasmin absolue. So that again is airy. It's gonna be airy and just a touch of floral sweetness. Black rose geranium, Burmesian oud, Indonesian oud, Iranian saffron, myrrh, and Persian rose absolute. Yeah, okay. I totally get the cinnamon now. And I get the same sort of fruity, milky sandalwood thing that was in Ruby, that I loved about Ruby. But here, it's, again, there is some medicinal aspects to it, which I assume probably come from the oud as well as the saffron. Saffron can often have something medicinal about it, especially if you use this like a natural saffron and not something like saffroline, which probably is more like a twangy, leathery, maybe slightly rubbery thing. But yeah, this, hold on a second, I have to take a call, sorry. Sorry about that, there was a call coming in. Okay, so back to Marlina. By the way, again, you can see this is already dried down, high oil concentration. Yeah, this is not quite as medicinal as the other ones before, at least in the opening. So I'm still in the first 5 minutes, right, of this, so it's going to be changing a lot more. And I'm going to give a dry down update to these as well. I think all of these deserve a dry down update. But yeah, this has more floral, more apparent floral notes than some of the other ones that, you know, I guess Floris Rex has some florals as well. And there was a rose in Helix, but I did not get much of that rose in Helix, to be quite honest. Neither the lavender, but here I'm getting more of the floral. I think there's more gonna be more jasmine and geranium in this that give this some freshness. And I think the geranium as well is gonna be adding some of that minty, cypressy freshness that I get. Like together, the geranium, which has like a minty freshness, together with the woody notes of the sandalwood and the oud, is giving us a slight green, woody thing, like a cypress tree. Okay, this, honestly, for now, just from the strength, and by the way, I haven't even talked about the ambergris. Ambergris, I've smelled real ambergris before because Les Indomptables, they have a couple of scents that use real ambergris tincture that they use. For example, their Ambre Suprême. It uses, I think, 10% ambergris tincture within the formula. So that has a very pronounced ambergris feel. And ambergris, real ambergris, I'm sure there's differences between the different ones, smells mineralic, salty, fresh, musky, and like a lot like the ocean. It has a very oceany smell, like a sea breeze type of thing. And by the way, this Encens Mythique by Guerlain also uses, I don't know if they actually use real ambergris, but they use a really nicely done ambergris accord, which is just beautifully done. So get your nose on that one if you can still find a bottle. But yeah, ambergris, and then also ambergris has a slightly animalic facet. So it's not squeaky clean like ambroxan is. Ambroxan is squeaky clean, and ambroxan is one of the main constituents within ambergris. But ambergris also has lots of other molecules that give it a slightly animalic feel as well. Something slightly, yeah, alive, slightly warm, right? And here, the ambergris gives this mineralic thing, this freshness, and a slight saltiness that works well with the milky sandalwood and the sweeter jasmine and sweeter rose thing. Because the rose in here is also sweeter than the rose that was used in Helix, for sure. And yeah, the ambergris gives this mineralic thing, and it just kind of adds also this airy freshness, I would say. And it really brings the scent together. So yeah, honestly, this might be my favorite so far. But we have one more to go, which is Seraphim. And this one, yeah, by the way, I haven't even showed you the color of the juice. So Marlina, kind of like a lighter brown. And Seraphim, similar to Marlina. Yeah, lighter brownish color. These are, by the way, still official samples. I'm going to spray Seraphim on my right hand now. Very curious why people were saying, Ooh, good luck with Seraphim. People that know the scent have told me that. Okay, so you can see there's Seraphim on my right hand. Let's let it dry down a slight bit and we'll get right into it. Okay. Oh. Oh. Okay. Okay. Now this is weird. This is a weird one. Oy. So there's something very, on the one hand, very sweet. So this is like a scent that smells like fruit candy. It really smells like fruit candy, like fruit jelly almost. Stuff that I like, lychee kind of thing. Yeah, all kinds of different, like lychee, pear, apple, maybe a bit of like peach thing going on here. That sort of sweet fruit thing, but not like juicy fresh fruits, but more like a candy or a jelly. That kind of that. But on the other hand, this has a sour, dry, woody, animalic thing. So you have those two things fighting in the opening. And like from further away, I get more of the fruitiness. Yeah. But when I get my nose into it and I take a deep breath, then damn. Yeah, this is interesting because this is more indolic in the sense of, this is not as cheesy, but it is more, yeah, it kind of has that Uranus type of smell to me. Because it's kind of sour and a little bit sulfuric, a little bit like ammonia. Yeah, ammonia is the right word. I'm getting more of an ammonia smell. And it's astringent and more medicinal. I know this is weird. It's mainly that tangy, that ammonia smell that is off-putting. All of the other elements, they're actually not that difficult. This doesn't smell like cow shit. This doesn't smell, to me, it doesn't smell like yeah, like an actual animal farm thing. This is more almost, how do you describe it? Almost, this has more of a human quality. This smells more like people, right? Like unwashed human. Very interesting. Yeah, so much ammonia. This is it's like nose piercing. I'm very curious about how this will dry down because there's a good amount of sweetness as well. That is probably like floral sweetness. Maybe also a hint of sandalwood in here. Something lightly creamy in the background. But it's so hard to decipher because the moment you put your nose close to this one, here by the way, this is the way the oil looks. And the moment you put your nose close to this one, you really get hit with that ammonia. But there's more to it. Yeah, I'm totally getting something slightly creamy and sweet here as well. So I'm figuring maybe some sandalwood. Let's have a look at the official notes before I keep guessing. Okay, Seraphim. It has apricot, strawberry, Laotian oud, Sri Lankan oud, Indian pink rose, Thai rose, pear, I said pear, Ceylon tea, hyraceum, oh, and myrrh. Okay, that's actually quite fortuitous that this has hyraceum in it, because I have actually brought out my other hyraceum scent. This is Musk Milano Monte Cristo. This also uses hyraceum. Hyraceum is a maybe like a resin type of thing that is harvested mostly in Africa, and it's the waste products of the hyrax, which is like a mammal, I think, that likes to essentially live near rocky areas, and they unload all of their waste products onto these rocky surfaces. Those dry in the African heat, and then people come and harvest that crystallized waste product, and then you can make a tincture out of that and put it into fragrance. And it's very potent, and it's actually one of the few animalic components that can be harvested cruelty-free. So that's a good part of it. And Monte Cristo uses hyraceum as well, but more cumin. This one here, there's no cumin, and I don't detect any cumin in Seraphim. Yeah, and this oh geez. Yeah, so the tea, the fruity notes, which some roses actually also give fruity notes, so there might be something fruity like the red fruits coming from the rose as well. The tea, the fruity notes, and the rose, they give sweetness, right? They give something generally fairly pleasant, and then you have a touch of that resinous thing from the myrrh, but it's very much in the background. And then there's a big hit of those ouds and the hyraceum. I think I'm getting, this is more in your face hyraceum than Monte Cristo. Monte Cristo, I would say Monte Cristo, the main animalic parts of that really is the cumin. Whereas and the hyraceum in Monte Cristo is actually really gentle and nice and slightly boozy, because hyraceum can have a slightly boozy feel. And here it's really ammonia heavy, and I think that comes from the hyraceum with the ouds. And it's still there, it's still ammonia. Wow. Yeah, I this one, if you wear this outside, I mean, actually, yeah, if I put my arm further away, it doesn't smell bad, but I give you props if you wear this outside. I feel like, yeah, you need some confidence for this one. Okay, let's go back and hit the Drydown of Marlina. Oh, yeah, I mean, this is animalic. There is something indolic about this, lightly, but it's so much lighter than in Seraphim. And Seraphim, like I said, it's not animal poop. It's ammonia. Ammonia is what makes this one tough to take for me. Yeah, that earwaxy ammonia thing. The fruits aren't even bad. Like the fruits, so on Parfumo they write synthetic. I don't think the fruits, like I said, it smells more like candy than actual real juicy fruits. So I get where they're coming from, but it's not off-puttingly synthetic, right? I think because it has so many naturals in it, I don't really mind that. But the ammonia, oh geez. All right, Marlina though, it's becoming more medicinal now that it dries down. I'm gonna wait another 1 or 2 hours and I'm gonna smell it again, and I will put that at the end of the video, how I feel about this after a few hours, after I get into the deep dry down. But it's becoming more medicinal. Yet still, I get this beautiful sandalwood thing with the mineralic freshness of the ambergris and these beautiful florals. And the oud is probably the more dry medicinal part. But it's not overpowering. It's really, really well blended. So far, Marlina, unless it changes in the dry down, Marlina might be my favorite of the 6. We will see in the final video where I rank it. But yeah, Seraphim, I can't wait for the dry down because I don't want to keep you too long. There's still this ammonia thing. It's still there. It's a little bit lighter. It's not as forward as in the opening. Like, I can smell it and I don't have to gag, but this is a lot. This is a lot. And I'm not even, surprisingly, it's not even like that the fruits clash too much with the animalics. It's more that ammonia part is just so powerful and in your face that, wow, yeah. I haven't smelled that before in a fragrance, not even Monte Cristo. Monte Cristo is nothing compared to that. All right. I hope that was helpful. I hope some of you got a good idea about these 2 scents. And yeah, like I said, in the next video we will be talking about the ranking and probably the new Chypre scent, Antique. And yeah, we will see each other for the dry down update. All right, here we are with the slightly rainy dry down update. So I am happy to report that after about 4 hours of wear, Marlina has not gotten too dry or too medicinal. The sandalwood is not as prominent, nearly as prominent as in ruby, but yeah, the animalic profile is fairly linear. So it starts off with more of the animalics from the oud, and in the dry down I get more of the animalics from the jasmin and the ambergris. So what is really actually quite nice is that this has gotten a really warm, almost yeah, I think quite close to like a dark honey smell. So when you get this, not like when you get really high quality honey that is dark, not like a very light color, but like a dark color, maybe like the color of this juice, or even more like almost slightly reddish. That sort of honey smell I'm getting, with some slight saltiness from the ambergris and just a lot of warmth. So this is actually so far quite amazing. So yeah, definitely want to try this one more. Yeah, unfortunately it's already sold out, so it's gonna be very hard for me to find any more of this, but yeah, quite impressed. All right, then let's get to Seraphim. So like I said, this has a big ammonia, like something sour, fermented, maybe like public bathroom type of smell going on. Now after 4 hours, that has softened considerably, but for those 4 hours, it's basically consistently stayed with the scent. And now I'm getting, yeah, something more like fermented fruits. So it goes into that like apple or pear brandy type of smell. So, or like peach brandy, like when you ferment fruits and then you distill a spirit out of it, it has this boozy quality. And then also it's got more balsamic. So for sure, like the woods are very strong. It's slightly balsamic. It's gotten that fruit quality, and actually a touch of that mushroomy quality as well. And then there's some smokiness appearing. So yeah, definitely interesting. But you get 4 hours at least, maybe even 5 hours of a lot of that fermented ammonia smell. So yeah, I don't think I need anything more than this decant of this one. I will wear this again before the conclusion, but yeah, it is just very interesting. It is a very different take. It's a very new smell. You can tell there's a lot of high quality ingredients in it, but I wouldn't call this very wearable myself. Okay, thank you so much for watching. I hope you will tune in again and have a great day. Take care.